You wonder why did I not take a drink before I turn on the camera? Because I'm going to still need a lot of this even after turn on the camera. Because I'm talking about Rebel Moon Part 1, Zack Snyder's wannabe Star Wars. Now this is a request for Daniel. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, whether it be a topic, a review, a commentary, a video game let's try, playthrough, re-review, whatever, feel free. PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Right down below. Now, I did do a commentary with this with my friend Fabio, but that was a long time ago, so I did rewatch the film. No, I've not seen part 2. Or their director's cuts, which I guess is supposed to be like new films. I mean, well, why have director's cuts in the first place? You're making it for Netflix. That could be any length and any rating you want, but Zack Snyder's Justice League was such a great marketing gimmick, so I'm going to do it for everything. Zack Snyder is one of the more overrated directors. I will say that. You know, some people ask me, what do I think is an overrated director? And at times when I'm doing a stream, my brain freezes and it's hard to think of it. But then it's like later on where I'm like, oh yeah. Because I want to make a good enough choice. Zack Snyder would be a director I feel is overrated. That does not mean I hate every film he's done. Dawn of the Dead, the remake, I think is the best one he's done. I like his Owl movie, Legend of the Guardians. I don't hate 300, I don't hate Watchmen, but I don't hate them, but at the same time I don't rewatch them much. Sucker Punch I think is a terrible movie for a lot of reasons, which I would go on a 20-minute tangent if I'd go on there. Not to mention his DC Universe stuff, Man of Steel, Talk to the Hand, Clark. I know you could save me because you're faster than a speeding bullet, and I need to protect your identity. Granted, as a son, you would think, I don't care. I'd rather have my dad be alive than care about my identity. But hey, you gotta listen to me, Clark. You're a grown man. Talk to the hand. You can't. I know this tornado is slowly coming towards me, and I could move, run, do anything, but I'm just going to put my hand here, just in case. I mean, granted, you're faster than speeding bullets, so people will just see a blur when you rescue me, but don't rescue me, Clark. And those people in the bus, maybe they should have died. You mean I shouldn't have saved them? Maybe. Because that's good parenting, you know. Batman v Superman, have a big old plot point be a jar of piss. Granny's peach tea, or whatever the hell it was. Because that should be a big plot point in a Batman Superman movie. Jesse Eisenberg in a bottle of urine. Martha, what did you say that name? Doomsday looking like a toenail fungus growth. Or herpes simplex-10. Justice League, I think both cuts suck. It's just one's longer. With more endings than Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And Army of the Dead is one of the biggest wastes of potential I've seen in a long while. R-rated, big budget action zombie movie about a heist in Vegas, and somehow Zack screwed it up. Screwed it up somehow. And then you have this, which for what I understood was supposed to be his Star Wars movie, but even Disney rejected it, and that says a lot when even Disney rejected it. But honestly, watch it again, I realized this wasn't really a... I mean, it is a ripoff of Star Wars. This is more like A Bug's Life. Do you remember? Because the plot is, you have workers doing their farming stuff to get food for their colony. The bad guys fly in. They take the grain or the food, whatever. And they're like, well, we don't want to give it. Oh, yeah? Well, we're coming back and we're going to get the rest of it. Oh, no, what are we going to do? We need to get some heroes for us. So the person goes out there to get some heroes, only they're not in a circus act. Although they might as well be for how useless they are throughout this movie. Yeah, wait till the next one. Well, this movie's over 2 hours long, so I think in over 2 hours they should be useful in some way. Otherwise, that's crap storytelling. And so little happens for so long. I have no idea how in the blue hell they got Anthony Hopkins to be in this movie as the voice of his droid. About narrating about conquered worlds and revolutions and the rebels. Like Star Wars rebels. And you have your lead girl, Sofia Bulimia, whatever the hell her name is. I don't care what I would call Bulimia. I know that's not her name, I don't care. Sofia! Can you just live under the sofa? Now come out, act again. She sucks. She was in The Mummy 2017 as the main villain. I guess her best work would be in Star Trek Beyond as that alien. I forget what race she was called, but she's not a good lead. She does not have charisma. She does not have presence. She looks about as thick as Calista Flockhart, so she's this walking stick. If I sneeze, she's going to blow away in the wind. But I'm supposed to buy her, taking on all these guys 2 or 3 times her size. I get it that if you have knowledge, you do use momentum, but she looks like I have this fly swatter, and this is about how big her arms are. How thick her arms are is this fly swatter. She's not great in the dialogue delivery. She's not fluent. I don't feel a spark. I don't feel a presence. Not even like compared to Salma Hayek or let alone other actresses. Demi Moore, Gina Davis, even Charlize Theron. Just terrible. And then the group of characters, a bunch of boring sad sacks trying to rip off Star Wars meets A Bug's Life. Just a boring sad sacks. And the colors are muted, just like Zack Snyder's DC films, muted colors. The first shot on the planet when she's farming, the backdrop, I thought it was a painting. I thought it was going to be like, oh, she's in a room, and we pull back, we see the walls, we see the ceiling, and this is like painted, but they can't go outside, so it makes it seem like, no, that's how bad the composition is. And this comes from a guy that likes matte paintings from back in the day, and those have more of a space, more believable than this. This literally looked like someone just hung a very large painting in the background. But it's supposed to be this big planet with rains. Terrible, either a terrible special effect or a terrible composition of the photography. Take your pick. But it looks so awful for a movie that's supposed to be this big budget spectacle. And this is when you have first early shots. Give me a break. And your lead character is very boring, very minute, very there are times where the movie stops and she gives her exposition and her state of mind. To be loved or truly loved, I don't know if I'm capable of either. It doesn't work when you have the personality of a gnat. It just doesn't work. So before you really get to know any of the other villagers in this colony, the bad guys come down, fly down. I find it funny because she's looking at this, and like the whole village is pretty much looking at it. She runs and hits this bell, ding, ding. I'm like, you don't need to do that. You just go, hey, 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 look what we got here. Like, why does she need to ring the bell? It's like, hey guys, ship's coming. You're right there. I'm like 10 feet away. You should hear the ships coming, by the way. It's not like this is the size of New York, or, well, the bell wouldn't work there. I mean, it's a very small village, small community. Maybe she just wanted attention. And your bad guy, again, another lame, generic, uncharismatic, non-threatening, thin, anemic bad guy who stole M. Bison's wardrobe. Talking about how your land is fertile and we want your food, your grain. Well, you know what? They killed the leader to show he means business. We got 10 weeks to give us your grain. Grab's sitting there going, with the amount of grain these people would make and how small this community is, how far would that grain go to supporting your troops? A month, if you're lucky, with how large your army is. But I've heard that in the second one, the villagers like make a shield out of grain, and the bad guys shoot it. I'm like, well, isn't this what you're wanting, is the grain, and you're shooting the hell out of it? If you don't need the grain anymore, then why are you doing this? I guess just to teach them a lesson, I guess. Yeah, you teach them a lesson. Watch this movie. Be bored to death. There's this younger teen who is among the townsfolk. The bad guys have left a couple of their soldiers behind. They also have this droid, voiced by Anthony Hopkins, who does what he's told. Whether at least another tells the girl the story about this teen and the daughter, and they were killed. And it was a loss of joy, loss of innocence. Later on, that teen girl gets accosted in this barn, and this scrawny-ass lady has a fight, which I don't buy. Again, her arms look like this. They look like this. And also, it's watered down, PG-13, lots of slow motion, and no blood. Where it's like shooting people in the head and cutting people and doing this and doing that, and you see no blood. Well, you gotta watch the special edition. Why was that in? Why would you take that out? Well, first off, that means it'd all be CGI blood, because you're able to take it out that easily. Second, why would you take it out in the first place? Other than you want to market it for later to try to get more numbers because you saw the Zack Snyder Justice League did well for you, so now you're purposely milking it as a tool, which you'd have to feel like a tool to watch all this crap. And that's why I'm sitting there going, kids, this is movie not meant for kids, so you can't say, well, they cut it out because of kids. No, this is a movie not meant for kids. With how dour and straight-laced, straightforward, overly dramatic it is, how the terrible pacing, kids would either be bored. Well, no, they'd be bored. That's just it. And you don't have to worry about the rating for movie theaters because it's going to Netflix. So again, the only reason is they purposely took it out, or they did not have it in the first place, and then Well, I got all this other footage, and then I'll just add a bunch of CJ blood, and look how crazy this guys. I swear, you gotta go see this. It's a R-rated director's. You gotta go see it. No, I don't. Nah, I'll pass. Piss off, Zack Snyder. So the droid helps out, kills one of them, saves the girl, freaks out, runs away. There's like 30 some minutes in, and you never see him again until the last shot of the movie. Because I guess he'll be in the sequel. I'm like, wow, this is such a weird way. Like, you have a character that seems like he's so important, and then he disappears, and he's not in it for the rest of the 90 minutes left in the movie. What a great way of handling characters. Then you get more of her backstory. The lead girl, played by Sofia Bulimia, whatever the hell, Boutella, whatever the hell her name is. About how she was a kid, and the bad guy killed her parents, and saw that she was ready to kill him, but there was no bullets. So he decided to raise her for whatever reason. And she was raised, and then she fought for the Motherworld, and she became a badass fighter. And yeah, more slow-mo, because Zack Snyder loves the slow-mo. Only, unlike John Woo, Zack doesn't know how to use it well. They rebuilt me to their image. And later on, about how she saw this daughter of this teen, and how it seemed like she could give life to something, and like a dead bird, and blah blah blah. And then pretty much they just go from place to place recruiting people. They go to the not Star Wars cantina, and they recruit non-Han Solo, Charlie Hunnam, and they did a bar shootout with more slow motion. That just, it's more of a parody now at this point when Zack uses slow-mo. It's like, oh well, people know I have to do it, and people keep mentioning that I do it, so I'm just going to do it regardless. How about you make one film without slow motion? I dare you to, Zack. I dare you to. I dare you. I bet you can't, and I would win that bet. And the people they meet, like, they find this guy, this buff guy, who seems to be a slave, and, well, sorry, you can't have him. Actually, you know what? I love betting. I love gambling. You know what? If he could tame this big bird, I'll let him go. Which made me wonder, what if he said, no, you can't have him no matter what. Goodbye. Would they have just left and be like, okay, next scene. So the big buff guy rides the giant bird, tames it, can work with the animals. He's free. Then the bird attacks the slave owner. And by the way, if you're wondering in this movie if that guy's going to do anything else, or him handling animals is going to come into any point, nope. I guess in the next one, but not in this movie. You think they'd be like, okay, the bird was going to go with them, or when whatever the big fight at the end, he's going to control animals, and nope, doesn't do anything. So he becomes pointless. You have this Asian lady who has plasma swords that are totally not lightsabers, guys. It's totally not lightsabers. Since this is meant to be a Star Wars movie. Fights the spider lady. Kills her. She decides to join our group. She has a little bit of cybernetic enhancements. She kills a couple people in the third act, but that's it. Not a whole lot. Djimon Hounsou is General Titus. They get him. He doesn't want to fight. He's mad about the past. He's mad about his men dying. And lead girl goes, well, you need to get revenge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll do it. I like Djimon Hounsou. He has jack all to do in this movie. So they did General Titus, they did the buff guy who talked to the animals, the Beastmaster himself. They did the Asian cybernetic lady with the non-lightsabers. They did some other people. I think one of them is Ray Fisher, that crappy cyborg in those Justice League movies. One at least another, spoiler, Charlie Hunnam betrays them. Charlie Hunnam betrays them. This guy, which only his character arc is following our lead girl and pretty much being a puppy to her. So I'm like, okay, he's, for some reason Charlie Hunnam said, and they've had this whole thing where, okay, you're going to stab this lady in the back of the head. On why I didn't see this coming, that maybe the guy would not do that. Turns around, jacks Charlie Hunnam, kills him. A firefight breaks out. And really all you see of the firefight is kind of people randomly shooting each other. Mostly Ray Fisher doing the self-sacrifice as some guy in a turret is mowing down some vehicles. Ray Fisher comes with a spear. What are you saying, Zach? A black guy with a spear? I'm just kidding. But he gets shot, but then he puts the spear again, kills the guy. But it was such an anticlimactic ending. It's like this little fight excursion where Djimon Hounsou disappears. The buff guy, I think he looks around a couple times. The Asian lady, I think, kills a couple people, like maybe 3 people, maybe more with a sword. And then it's more Sofia Boutella fighting the bad guy on this like platform with not the best choreography, which again, I don't buy this lady fighting. I don't think she can fight the wind, let alone anybody else. At one point, like, breaks the guy's arm, blah blah blah, the guy falls to his death. They all ride off. They're all on the planet riding horses, while the bad guy has been brought back to life, reborn. You see a shot of Anthony Hopkins, whose droid now has antlers, for whatever reason. I guess he went, I don't say postal, but I guess he went native, or I don't know. The Animal Tamer, Djimon Hounsou, these guys did nothing. And the movie ends, I'm sitting there going, why in the blue hell would anybody want to watch the second part of this? Let alone a potential third or whatever. Why would they? And why would you ever watch this movie? You could literally watch a 5-minute recap of this film. Bad guys come, they want the grain, we get Animal Tamer, Asian lady, Djimon Hounsou. Our lead girl thought she killed the bad guy, he's still alive. You just sum that up in 5 minutes or less. And this was over 2 hours. This was literally an over 2 hour build up to whatever the next one will be. This is a 2 hour and 10-minute trailer, teaser to whatever will happen next. That's really what this is. So why would you ever watch this film again? What is there to like about this movie? What? What is there to like? The pace is dull, leaden, boring. The characters are either very, very underdeveloped and undervalued, like Djimon Hounsou and the Animal Tamer guy. They're set up and then they do nothing, because you gotta wait till the next one. Your lead does not have the personality or the charisma to carry a film. I'm sorry, but she does not. She's so thin and anorexic looking that I don't buy her in any fights, any action sequences. I just don't. I'm sorry, I do not. Okay, not every film has to have humor. I think Marvel overdid that. But there's no sense of joy, there's no sense of adventure, there's no sense of that emotional palette. The visuals were not that impressive. I mentioned that opening, like the first shot when we're on the farm. Action scenes, there's very little action. The barn fight, the cantina fight, the fight at the end. I just, the Spider Lady fighting the Asian. I mean, the Asian lady fighting the Spider Lady. The animal tamer getting the animal and taming it. Which I guess, I'm assuming the next one they'll bring that bird back and he'll be flying it around and doing whatever. Like he, thinks he's Avatar. And maybe it feels like there's not a lot of action because it's just not that exciting in terms of the action scenes. So what the hell do you get out of this? What the hell is worth the crap about this? Not much in my opinion. That's just me though. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. This film sucks. And it sucks. See you guys later. Bye-bye.